So, welcome to another program. We want to talk about today the meeting between CHP leader Özgür Özel and AKP leader and the president Tayyip Recep Erdogan. This has happened last week early, and we want to talk about the outcome and the potential threats and opportunities to both parties, and what does it mean to Turkey. So, without any further delay, let's start. Now, the meeting took place between Özgür Özel and CHP leader Özgür Özel and AKP leader Tayyip Recep Erdogan took place early this week. Gives the opportunity to parties to weigh each other, what their interests and what their priorities are. Basically, they just declare some of the things that they think it should be solved right now and what their expectation from each others. So from JEP expectation, they want to ease the conditions and, if possible, release the prisoners from the Gezi, I will say, protests. And also they want the municipality budgets to be released by the government institutions. Especially for Istanbul, it makes a very sense since Ekrem İmamoğlu is a very important figure also in the party. And also they want more information to be released to party leadership, at least when it comes to especially the foreign policies. So in these three area, we can summarize what JHP wants. From Erdogan, the only thing that we have been hearing as a strong ground is support to change the constitution. And now we need to talk about what does it mean. AK Party has been winning the elections up until, I will say, 2019 with more than 50% of the supporters from the Turkey. Now, after within, say, 2019, we see the first drawbacks from AK Party. They lost Ankara and also Istanbul to opposition party CHP. And now within this 23 and 24, despite the fact that in 23, May, if I'm to or June, they won the election, the presidential election. We see that the loss of the votes, and now in 2024 March, they lost the majority of the cities, especially if you consider the GDP rate. They have now the power of 27% of the GDP of the country in their hands as an opposition party. And the rest is with the AK Party and others, but 25, let's say, percent is with the AK Party and 1% with others. But the issue is here, JHP has the upper hand at this moment, despite the fact they are not representing the government, and they hold the municipalities, which is a great effect it means to the. Therefore, it makes a sense from JHP to ask for all these budgets to be released by the government. So they want to give more and prove to the country that they can do good things for the people in their municipalities. Of course, it will not affect the, I will call it, the state economy in great. However, they will have the opportunities to show that if they are going to be the government, they can even do better. So it depends the performance of course, the party. From the other side of the Gezi protest, it's always one of the first priorities of JHP. They want all these, I would say, prisoners to be released. And also, when it comes to the foreign policies, especially, which we call it about the party's business, we call it the matters that's only related with the state affairs. They want AK Party to inform them, and it has been cut since 2002 when AK Party was in the charge. So when it comes to these points, of course, it makes sense for Özgür Özel to mention about this. But the AKP expectation in return, and which we have no idea which ones can be met by AK Party, is a support to change the constitution, and that's a great, I will say, problem for JHP. From one aspect, you might consider that without giving something, you cannot take anything back. This is what the Europeans and Americans will consider, especially, and to some senses, I do agree as a Turk. But as we have seen in the latest, I would say, municipality elections, and I have been stating this for a long time, JHP can win any election alone, or with other parties support, but not like a support that our party and MHP has been doing, or before JEP and other parties has been doing. Let's say the six leaders of the table, we call it the six seat table, but as being a leader and being attractive to all the parties to come around, so they can unify and form a coalition. The previous model was they all come to the table. But here, one party arises and the other parties become around that coalition. That is the difference between before and now. Now, if JEP will be clever enough to make the policies where it might be an effective point to other parties to come around JEP, in the forthcoming elections, JEP can even have a president from its own party with the support of other minorities, I will call them, minor parties. But the important thing is this, you know. But when it comes to constitution, it doesn't make any sense to me, because whenever we are hearing and reading the articles, what is going on about this constitution, it only helps Erdogan to reinforce its place as a president for the next election and to put the AK Party priorities further. Nothing about the democracy, first. Nothing about, I will call it, economy. Nothing. Nothing about the expenses or the foreign policy. Nothing. It's just to reinforce Erdogan's priorities for future and nothing more. So it's nothing about to make the people feel safer, to let them to live in a much democratic country, to solve the people's problem, but just to enforce Erdogan another term or another opportunity to run as a president for the next 4 or 5 years, starting by 2028, maybe an early election 2026. And if it is the case, even I am a supporter and a member of JEP, I will be against this by all heart. It cannot be an idea of or the reasoning why we need to change a constitution for the country. Any country shouldn't do it. Then we are not democratic. And if we are, as JEP, supposed to be a democratic party, then we should be against this by our heart. So this is a big problem, I believe, within JEP, at least within supporters, why we should be helping our party to change the constitution. Now he wants to decrease the 50% plus one vote in order to be government to 40%. I mean, why we are not going back to parliament then? Because it's going to be the same thing then as parliament that we had it before. So go to the prime minister, the president office will be just a figure. The prime minister is going to have everything else with the parliament and other things, you know. So why we have this 50? I personally believe that 50% plus one is okay for the country. The only thing that we are doing wrong from the start is how we are implementing is wrong. Otherwise, 50% plus one is not a bad idea. I do agree that the coalitions is not going to let Turkey to develop further. It's a big problem because every country or every party is coming from a different route, and unfortunately, they are not speaking and looking for the benefits of the country and the people. You know. And no further like democratic development, no further like economic development or nothing else, or to be effective as a foreign relations. Just, you know, oh, this is my supporters, I am coming, let's say the Kurds are saying that we are coming, if we are Kurdish, we want a country or at least all rights to be given us and all these things, and Kurds, the others are coming, oh, we are religious, we want this, blah, blah, blah. The others saying, we are Atatürk is doing this, doing that, and we want this. But what is all these things are missing is we are living all together. And unless you are prioritizing this as a figure, then you can only achieve the development for the country. Otherwise, it's impossible. You know, only small steps, and there will be no big steps. So all these things, or in majority, should be harmonized. Otherwise, Turkey is going to fail. That's why I think that for JHP, the biggest threat is falling into Erdogan's trick. In order to have the budget from, let's say, for municipalities or other things, he has to also consider this. The Turkey is now, I will say, breaking into pieces. Not only in other things, but also in economy too. And with the good things that the municipalities can do, it will not affect the country or to develop more economic or strong economy. Therefore, we should not help, I believe, Erdogan. What we should do is we should go on our head. We should do the foreign policies. I agree there. Foreign policy is also important. We should help other than the economic and the constitutions, but we should help about the foreign policies, and we should at least listen and take all the informations and give our two, I would say, the same opinion, right or wrong. Other than that, I mean, why I'm going to give economy to them? They will give us the economy, and in terms, we are going to give Erdogan another 4 or 5 years of leadership. All we are here around at this moment, JP, is to be against him. Now he wants to us to help him, and I will be saying yes, no, I can't. Nobody can. So that's the biggest thing that Özgür has it in his, because if he's going to say yes, or even blink an eye, the party is going to crumble. It will be a lot of things. But don't forget why all these people give you a vote at first. Not for constitution, to be against him and to replace him. So we need to do our best and show the people that we can do this. And meanwhile, as I said, the coalition cannot come together. You need to be rising star, and you need to develop the policies that will attract other parties, or at least not, like by heart, but as an idea, and enforce these party supporters to put pressure on their own parties to be aligned with JP for the greater good of the country. Otherwise, it will not work. So let me think in the comments what you think about this, and write me. Let's talk. Have a nice day. Bye.